the next thing is also from me. Uh, will Trump courting tech oligarchs and AI kill him? Meaning Trump's brand is to fight back against establishment, obviously. Pro manufacturing, you know what I'm saying? That's his pro manufacturing, you know? Uh,
Jabs.
but like, especially when a lot of these tech oligarchs were seen as like negative in a lot of circles pretty recently, but then he's courting them.
Mm,
And AI is going to go against, you know what I'm saying? Like, not jobs necessarily, but we've seen parts of the country have job shift happen away from a certain job, and it kind of just like makes communities fall apart. So AI
sure,
could hasten those things. You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, uh, at what point do you think a Trump fan cares and is upset about like these things potentially working against them? Like, do they see that at all? Do you think? Um,
Uh, yeah.
yeah. Go ahead. What do you think?
Well, I was gonna say that. I mean, the only reason that Trump won this election was because of inflation, I think.
I agree with that.
So
Yeah, I
once
agree with that.
once it hits people's pocketbooks in a real tough way, especially if they lose their jobs, then for sure he's gonna lose. I mean, that's all that most voters care about at the end of the day is their own self-interest. So
No, I know. So I feel like you. Hey, so then tell me if this is wrong. I feel like you agree with me that like Trump supporters don't care. Like, they don't care that Zuckerberg was just recently like a cucko boy, and now he's at the inauguration, so he's cool. Like, they just don't care.
right.
Like, until negative things really start to happen to people's lives, like they're gonna just march to the beat of that drum, baby. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't think it matters. It's shit that is so annoying to me though. Because it's like the whole like think about any like president or leader. Imagine them being surrounded by a bunch of people who publicly have many times like were negative about you and rebuked how you were as a person, and then they kissed your butt, and now here they are. You know what I'm saying? Even JD Vance. So like I don't know, like it's weird, and it just seems like people don't reflect on that, and they're not gonna care until, like you said, until it affects them. Maybe tariffs will.
Yeah, I've been kind of trying to feel the pulse of sort of MAGA conservatives, considering these tariffs are going to go into effect, it seems, in the next like week or so.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a split ticket, it feels like. I see a lot of comments about people like, well, we have to trust that Trump knows what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. But I also see a lot of comments from what I believe to be MAGA conservatives saying just things to just ideas to the effect of, what the fuck is he doing? This is going to make stuff more expensive.
Right.
Um,
Which it on the one hand it is, but on the other hand, you got to let it take effect and take time.
sure.
So that's where you might get 50-50 split at the beginning, because if you look at it and 2 plus 2 equals 4, then prices are going to go up.
Yeah.
But even those 50% that still wouldn't care, once those prices at the store really go up and at the pump go up, you still wouldn't get everybody, but you'd start to chip away at people that are like, hey, fuck this. Like, you know,
Right.
I've
Yeah.
seen, and this is so anecdotal, but have you seen like a couple like videos of people who are like crying because they're like, I voted for Trump, but like they're close to the immigrant community or in the immigrant community, and people
Sure.
are getting snatched, and they're like, I can't believe, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So until it affects you, yeah, yeah, which is sad, by the way, sad. Yeah, they shouldn't do that.
It's
Sad.
just odd though, because I mean, those voters don't make sense to me. Because it's not like Trump ever had hid any of his intentions, right? Like this
No, this is
was
also why you can have the tech oligarchs all of a sudden flip, and he can pump 500 billion into AI seemingly with God knows whose money. I have no idea. I haven't looked at that at all. And people are just
the
like, yeah,
tariffs
we don't care,
for it.
because it doesn't matter. It doesn't. None of it matters, dude. None of it matters
Yeah.
until now. The immigrant community is some of it. It's again, it's anecdotal. Do we got to say that? But seemingly some of it is
Hmm.
where some of them who did vote for him are finding out things they don't like. But and now it does for them. And then but till it matters. So
It is really frustrating though that he gets to just line up, Elon Musk, Zuckerberg,
hmm
the Google guy. Like they're all front row at his inauguration,
dude, that's so weird.
and
That's so weird, dude.
and they don't give a fuck about it. Where a lot of these MAGA, especially the online MAGA, do not like those people. They don't like them. And he puts them front row at his inauguration, and they're giving him all sorts of money for his inauguration fund, and there's just fuck all to say about it.
Nobody
Isn't that
cares,
odd?
dude.
Like, why?
I know.
It's just,
And then
it
some
just doesn't make
Democrat
sense.
somewhere steals like $1 out of someone's pocket, and everyone's like, "Hang them now!" I
Right.
cannot believe. It's like,
And you're reading
Jesus.
about it everywhere. You know what was interesting to me too?
Yeah.
Not that I give a fuck, but Trump didn't put his hand on the Bible when he swore his oath
I
of
don't-
office.
Yeah, I saw that too. Who cares?
I don't care about that, but I know that if Biden did
Oh,
that,
exactly.
that
Yeah,
would have,
they'd be so mad. Yeah. It's
that would have been a news item for
It's challenging.
days.
We've challenged them for years to make it make sense. I don't think they're gonna all of a sudden make it make sense. So it's
Again,
challenging.
it will when it hits close to home, and I think it is going to hit close to
Right,
home. for
yeah,
a lot
that's the
of
only way-
these
yeah,
Trump
yeah.
supporters
Um,
soon.
This is why I've been staying away from headlines and really digging too deep, because it's like, dude, nothing's gonna change until material change is felt, which is
Right.
bad because that material change very well may be negative.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I'm-
Anyways, okay. Yeah. Oh, I had a greater point and I lost it, but I stand by that point. So.
Yeah, I think there will be a lot of disillusionment with the whole MAGA movement in the next 2 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We'll see how that
There'll
goes.
still be some hardcore people, man, because he won twice. They're gonna be like, "Yo, he won twice." You know what I'm saying? He can walk on water. Walk on water. So,
Got
telling you,
water.
some of those people will exist.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how bad tariffs really make things go.
Well, fucking
Like, dude,
Canada
let me
catching
Google-
strays.
Oh, sorry.
Can we talk about it too? What is the rationale for these
Biz-
tariffs?
Biz.
What's the
Let's do
rationale?
this. Let's do this. Trump. I'm gonna Google. Trump supporter does Canadian business tariff, and see if there's like a news article on someone being like, "I can't believe," like I voted
Sure.
for him, and I do 100% of my business over the border. It's like, oh my god, dude, that's tough.
You know what I also didn't realize is a lot of the oil in the U.S.
Trump
that we
deals with
import
fallout.
comes from Canada. And that
Yeah,
was the
I
one
didn't-
area where Trump was like, "Oh, we won't do 25% in Canada for
do 10.
oil. We'll do
We'll do
10%." Like,
Yeah.
dude. Because he has to know in the back of his head this is not like what is the rationale? I don't understand it. Even if you're like is this just a fundamental misunderstanding on
Dude,
Trump's behalf of how tariffs
don't
work?
know. I don't know,
What is
but
really the
it's-
end game here? Because he came
Dude,
out and he
we
said
live
something
in
to the
Yeah.
well, he just said something to the effect of like fentanyl coming from Canada, and it's a
Dude.
lopsided trade with Canada, so that's why we're tariffing them. But I just don't understand.
Dude, you know what's hilarious about that fentanyl thing? In that same
Yeah.
press conference, I think, and I was like listening. I was listening to a video of his like press secretary talking about it, and she was like, "Fentanyl has killed tens of millions of Americans," and I started laughing because I was just like, "How many Americans are there? Fentanyl has killed tens of millions." And I was just thinking to myself, it's like, bro, they can't even, they lie like they breathe just because. Like, you don't have to do that. You could just say, like, yo, fentanyl is deadly, and just leave it at that. And everyone would be like, yeah, you're right. Like, no, they got to be like tens of millions of Americans have died. I'm just like, oh, my word.
That is.
Anyways, we hope those tariffs with Canada will work. We'll see. I'm doubtful.
Again, but what is the rationale? Like, what is the end game here? I don't understand.
I don't know, but I'm sure Trudeau will be personally trucking over fentanyl himself now that it's getting tougher and tougher to keep the flow going.
Especially 'cause he's about to be jobless. He's gonna make money somehow.
Yeah, there you go. See?
Look at this. 2022, we had 100,000 drug overdose deaths in the U.S. So tens of millions at that rate would take uh, hundreds of years.
A long time.
Hundreds of years.
A long
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Just as a quick
Um,
aside.
the last thing I want to say on this rambling topic, and it's amazing because it's the world we live in. The Chinese
Mhm.
Commerce Ministry responded by announcing that China would file a lawsuit with the World Trade Organization and take necessary
Mm.
countermeasures to firmly safeguard its rights and interests. It's like China is still using like world cooperation levers where like now America is just like we don't give a fuck about anyone
Mhm.
at all.
Well, and it's brilliant
Yeah,
because now China can muscle
Sure.
for
Yeah, it's all our
leadership
influence.
in
Sure.
the world. Yeah,
We don't live in
I mean,
we don't live in a empire society. You know what I'm trying to say. So we can't just like take over land. We can't take Greenland, Trump. But
Right.
influence, right? Yeah, yeah. So
imperialist. Yeah, he also on his Truth Social, which we should just make this like a fucking weekly. Like, where's Trump at on his
go
Truth
down
Social
his truth.
profile?
That's terrible. We're not doing that.
But this morning,
Yeah.
he kind of doubled down on tariffs on Canada, and then was like something to the effect of 51st state again. And I'm like, dude, what is like? Does he really
Crazy.
think that Canada's just gonna be like, all right, we're just part of the U.S. now. We're gonna
Crazy.
concede all of our autonomy and like, is
Who
that
the
is
heck
that
knows?
is that part of the tariffs? He wants them to be a state. Like, it's fucking idiocracy level.
Wild stuff.
Like, I don't
Wild
understand.
Stuff. Yeah, no.
Like, imagine,
Mm.
it's crazy that we're normalizing all of this fucking behavior. And we all just go, oh, it's Trump. Like, obviously Canada's not gonna be a
yeah.
51st state.
And any
Like,
random
that's just Trump and
and-
Trump.
Yep.
What?
And any random
What?
person listening to this right now, at any point before any material effect is to be had, everyone's just gonna be like, whatever. They're just complaining about Trump, you know, and they're gonna be right because like plenty of people complain about Trump, whatever. Until and if negative material things are felt, you know. So we'll see. We'll see if it happens. I believe that tariffs will absolutely add to the pressure of starting some sort of recession, you know. So okay. I do want to warn that I
landing.
have no experience in anything and have no idea what I'm talking about though. So I did want to also add that. So